Week 9 waiver wire. Let's get it started. Do you have questions at quarterback? Don't worry, I got you. Bo Nix. Kid's looking good. He's been top 10 3 out of the last 4 weeks. He's thrown for 2 or more touchdowns 3 out of the last 4 weeks. And he was quarterback 2 last week. A lot of people haven't been paying attention, but this kid can run. He's run for 60 or more yards 2 of the last 3 weeks. That's a lot of yards to run for, especially for a quarterback. I think the kid's worth a grab. Goes up against the Baltimore Ravens. You know they're going to have to score. And that Ravens pass defense isn't as good as you probably think it is. Welcome back, Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco has been named the starter, and Anthony Richardson is getting benched, probably because he's too tired to play. Wild. The old man can sling it. Goes up against Minnesota, which isn't a great matchup, but he is a savvy vet. I think he could probably get it done. Speaking of another savvy vet, Matthew Stafford, going up against the Seattle Seahawks that don't scare you. He's got Puka and Cooper Kupp back. I think that he's going to be able to sling it. This is a divisional matchup, so they're going to be fighting hard on this one. I think he can get 3 or 4 touchdowns. Well, that's if Kyron doesn't steal them all. And lastly, famous Jameis. Used to be with my Bucks, now he's with the Cleveland Browns, and they're letting him sling it. He can throw it. So if you're desperate, I think you could play him. He's going to throw picks. It's going to be ugly, but he tends to make it work at the end. Trust me, I'm a Bucks fan. I watched him do it for years. Are you having a rough time at running back? Don't worry, I got you. If you're wondering why I sounded like that, it's not a great week for running backs. A lot of these guys are either 50% rostered or worth having a flyer. Not really worth starting. So let's go through a couple heavily rostered guys worth checking. Tyrone Tracy Jr., he's a good running back in a questionable situation. Probably not available, but worth a grab if he is. And the same with Tank Bigsby. Both of these guys are 54% rostered according to Fantasy Pros, as well as Alexander Madison. What are the odds? That's actually kind of wild. And then you got a bunch of pseudo handcuffs that are worth a grab if they're out there and you need a handcuff of some sort. People have been getting injured left and right. One of these guys will be viable. We don't know how the injuries are going to fall. Get 1 or 2 on your roster. It's like playing the lottery. You could get a running back 2 out of nowhere. I'm going to speed through them. Ezekiel Elliott, quasi-starter. Tyler Algier, Jaylen Warren, probably rostered. Braylon Allen, he's going to be fantastic if Breece Hall goes down. Same with Ray Davis. Justice Hill doesn't have a world where he's like the guy, but he catches a decent amount of balls from time to time. Isaac Rindo needs 2 injuries, Madison and CMC, and CMC looks like he's coming back, and they're on a bye. I don't really see immediate upside. He's more of a long-term just in case. Speaking of 2 injuries needed, Sean Tucker. Moving on. Are you weak at wide receiver? Don't worry, I got you. Cedric Tillman. If you've been paying attention, I told you to pick him up last week. So hopefully you already have him. But if not, you should probably grab him. Jameis Winston's going to be slinging that thing. And it's a big boy. My man is 6'3", 215. Back-to-back games with 9 or more targets. And last week, he had 2 of them things. Them things is touchdowns. 2 of them things. Considering how much they're slinging it, Jerry Jeudy might be viable. Same with Elijah Moore. I view him more as a flyer, but I do think they're going to get targets if y'all are desperate. Obviously, Tillman over all of them, though. Joe Flacco's back, so Josh Downs is back to being relevant. I know that he was relevant last week with Anthony Richardson, but he's going to be more consistent. Anthony Richardson, you were rolling the dice of whether or not he'll be useful. He's going to be useful if Flacco plays. Flacco's going to sling it. Now that Deontay Johnson's been traded and Adam Thielen isn't around, Xavier Legette, the first-round draft pick, they about to use him. They're going to see what he's got. They kind of have to. I think you should pick him up. He is worth the roll of the dice. They didn't draft him for no reason. They're going to see what he's got. I don't know if you've seen the injury reports for Jacksonville Jaguars, but their receiving core is injured. Pretty sure Christian Kirk broke his collarbone. He's going to be out. Brian Thomas Jr.'s status is up in the air. I believe it's because of bruised cartilage in his ribs. He may or may not play. And I think Gabe Davis was a little banged up. I'm pretty sure he's going to play, though. Parker Washington might be one of the last guys standing if Brian Thomas Jr.'s out. Worth a glance. If Gabe Davis plays and Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't play, he's going to get a lot of targets. But regardless, I still think he gets targeted more than people think he does. He's worth a grab. Tolbert's had back-to-back bad weeks, but I do think that he's going to have his weeks where he's useful. More of a flyer at this point, looks less consistent. With all the injuries in Houston, they're going to have to throw it to somebody. Tank Dell's really the only one healthy at the moment. Nico Collins on IR. Stephon Diggs out with a torn ACL. They're going to have to throw it to somebody. Hutchinson could be that guy. He's a big boy, 6'3". I believe he's like 210, 215. More of a stash, but worth the stash. I doubt they want to get Robert Woods more involved. Again, stash. Joe Mechie. Again, stash. Someone's going to emerge. Unless they're going to bring somebody in, someone is going to have to get the ball thrown to him because it ain't going to Tank Dell 30 times a game. Wide receivers that are probably not on your waiver wire, but you should check anyways. Calvin Ridley, I saw him get dropped in a league I was in. It was wild. He got picked up, obviously, but he's available in 29% of leagues. Just check. Keon Coleman's only 54% rostered. Worth a check. The 49ers going to bye this week. Jawan Jennings, he's rostered in a decent amount of leagues, but people may drop him next week. If they do, he's worth a grab. Again, 49ers going on a bye. People may drop him. Worth a check. Also, only 38% rostered. And Jacoby Myers. I think that he's going to be viable in this offense. They're running out of people to throw it to, and he's actually a pretty decent wide receiver. Don't sleep on him. Are you having a tough time at tight end? Don't worry. I got you. Look at here, look at here, look at here. I told y'all to pick him up, and he is bowling. In the last 2 games, he's been top 5. Number 1 last week. 2 touchdowns. Yes, 2 of them things. I told y'all to pick him up. He's only 47% rostered. Make sure you go grab him. Like now. Tucker Kraft still not rostered everywhere. Definitely worth a grab. Zach Ertz is surprisingly involved. Had 11 targets last week. What? I think Hunter Henry will remain a thing. Can't argue with 5 or more targets in 3 straight weeks. He's a tight end. That's really all you can ask for. This guy might not get 5 targets, but he might throw a touchdown, run for a touchdown, or receive a touchdown. He is a Swiss Army knife. He may get you close to nothing. He may win you a week. This guy's the definition of boom or bust. If you need a boom, worth a try. Also, Mike Gesicki looked good with T. Higgins out. Made a couple incredible catches. If Higgins sits, I think he's going to be good. He's worth a grab. Are you desperate for a defense? Don't worry, I got you. The New Orleans Saints. They faced the Carolina Panthers. Panthers just traded away their best wide receiver. Do I need to say more? They're the Panthers. Keep it moving. Commanders go up against the New York Giants. They're going to get a lot of sacks. Daniel Jones takes a lot of sacks. Fire him up. Also, division matchup. Probably going to be pretty close. Lower scoring. Bengals defense got destroyed last week while they were playing the Eagles. Not this week. They're playing the Raiders. I think that should be a fine matchup. You can start them. The Patriots held Aaron Rodgers to 22 points last week, which used to be impressive. Now he doesn't really score many points. But they go up against the Tennessee Titans, who also don't score many points. So, I think the Patriots are fighting for their coach. Also didn't like to be called soft and beat the Jets. Let's go. I think they play well against Tennessee. Plus, I think they get a couple takeaways and a couple sacks. Lastly, the Philadelphia Eagles. I like this one more if Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't play. I think it's okay either way, but if Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't play, that means they're throwing it to Gabe Davis and Parker Washington, which don't really scare you. And their running back is banged up even if he does play, and the backup is solid, but Eagles are a pretty good defense. If Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't play, I think they could be good. So, who did I get right? Who did I get wrong? Let me know down below. I've been loving all the comments. I'm a little behind right now on answering them, but don't worry, I'm getting to them. I've been getting some good suggestions for videos to make. Someone suggested I make a video for a roster review last week. I got that one out. This week, somebody asked me to make a video talking about matchups. So I think I'll start incorporating matchups more in general. But I will be making a video talking about who has the best regular season matchup per position, who has the best playoff matchups per position. I'll be covering that this week. And yeah, I think that something that's going to help everybody is if I can give more matchup type help instead of just specific players. So I'm going to work on looking into that as well. Who has good matchups this week? Who has bad matchups this week? I think that that'll help everybody instead of just picking like 5 or 6 players. So yeah, let me know what you think. I love all the feedback. Y'all are really helping with all these comments. It really does help, I promise. Because I've been doing this for 5 years and I'm just grasping at straws and stuff. Because I have a limited amount of time because I work from 9 to 6 and then from 6 to midnight every day. This is what I do. So I'm staying up really late, waking up early, but I don't have a lot of time. So I can only make so many videos. So your suggestions are really helpful because I want to know what you want so I can make that. So yeah, thanks for the help. Don't forget to like. Ooh, hold on. I got to click the little button. I've been forgetting that little button. There it is. Boom. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell down below. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck on the wire this week. Peace.